All right. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. This is Nicole Whitlock with eCom Sellers Mastery. I am so glad that you all are here. Hopefully, you can hear me. If you can hear me, comment that you can hear me in the chat. If you can hear me, just comment in the chat. Okay, so I'm guessing no comments. You cannot hear me. Hold on. Oh. Okay, you can hear me. Okay, good. All right. So let me share my screen. Let's try this again. And present. All right, so we are getting started. This is our third session, I believe. Everything is a blur for me. This is our third session for eCom Sellers Mastery. So our first two sessions, we covered a lot. Actually, those first two sessions were like over 2 hours long. I apologize if they are over 2 hours long. We know that like giving you all that information is like drinking through a fire hose. But my hope is that we're in week 4, which means you have 8 more weeks to go. And I'm hoping that in the remaining 8 weeks that you make these 8 weeks count. So let's get started. So the first thing that I want to talk about is your why. Hopefully you have created either a document or maybe some post-it notes or some little index cards where you've put your why. So that when you get up in the morning, you can review your why. Why am I doing this? And you know what I also do is try to make sure that I review my daily schedule, like what am I about to do? So for the day, and one of my tips or one of my strategies, and you may want to make a note. So if you don't have your notebook, paper, and pen, grab it now so that you do have it. But one of the tips that I use is that before I go to bed at night, I kind of go through what I'm doing tomorrow. So subconsciously, my brain is working towards tomorrow's schedule. So that when I wake up in the morning and I go over my why, I give thanks for the day, I do my prayer or meditation, Bible study, whatever your morning routine is. And, or maybe it's just get up and get the kids ready immediately. I know that life as well. But whatever that happens to be, in addition to that, I go through my schedule real quick. And I kind of have it like on an index card so that I can review it. And sometimes reading it, writing it, and seeing it can help reinforce it. So if you read it, write it, and see it before you go to bed the night before, then you get up in the morning, you read it, write it, and see it. Then throughout the day, your subconscious mind is working towards accomplishing the things that you said you were going to do for the day. So that's a strategy or tip that I use, and I want to encourage you to do the same so that way you can move forward in your business on a regular basis. So follow your schedule. We all created, hopefully, the 90-day schedule. That schedule you can use beyond 90 days. So again, just because we're at officially this is the third session, but this is week 4. Just because we're at week 4 doesn't mean that there isn't a chance that you can recover and continue to make progress in your business. You can. It's just a matter of making sure that you focus and put in the time and energy. So you have to ask yourself, am I really working the hours I said I was going to work in my business? Am I really focusing on the things I said I was going to focus on in my business? Or am I, again, we are all distracted by the many things that are happening right now. Am I redirecting my focus when the opportunity presents itself or when I'm aware of the fact that right now I'm distracted? I'm in a rabbit hole. I need to get out of the rabbit hole. I need to actually go engage in income producing activities. So we want to encourage you, whatever your numbers happen to be, make sure that you're sourcing every single day and that your goal is a daily profit, of whatever the number is you're trying to achieve, whether it's the 2,000, 4,000, or 6,000. Make sure that you're engaging in activity to help you get closer to those numbers. That is so key and so important. And then one of the things that we had talked about before that I forgot to incorporate into the Work the Weekly schedule is make sure that you maybe allot it. It could be 15 minutes a day. It could be 10 minutes a day. As time goes on, you may use tools to be able to do this activity, but review and tweak your listing. It may be tweaking of the price. It could be a tweaking of the um, it could be a tweaking of the not the title, but maybe the keywords that are attached to it. Maybe you want to add another image to it, whatever it happens to be. But whatever platforms you're selling on, if you are selling to raise capital and you're selling on other platforms right now, in addition to trying to build up your Amazon business, then take the opportunity at least once a day, even if it's only 15 minutes, to tweak and review your listings. So add that as like a 15-minute activity that you incorporate into your schedule. Okay, so that's an action that you need to do. Okay, so status updates. This is where I need you to tell me where we are in this process. How is it going? Where is everybody in this process? So did everybody log in or access the membership site and join the Facebook group? We do have a Facebook group. We've had it actually for over a year and a half, a year and a quarter. So in the comments, can you guys tell me whether or not you did or did not log into the membership site and whether you did or did not join the Facebook group? All right, so yes to both from Ross. Anybody else? Anyone else besides Ross? Yes to both. Okay. All right. So are you guys tracking your profit numbers? Have you been tracking your numbers? Have you been paying attention and being mindful of what your daily activity is and whether or not you're tracking your numbers? So Stephanie, we definitely want you to get in there and because increasing your awareness. So I'm going to use an analogy for those that are looking to lose some weight. This is a great analogy. So I'm a little overweight, so this applies to me. Losing weight is a combination of a couple of things. It's exercising, it's modification of some of the things that you may or may not be eating. It could be maybe you're not drinking enough liquids, maybe you're eating too late at night. It could be a number of combination of things. And so how do you track your progress on weight loss? Most people track their progress on weight loss on getting on the scale. Others track their progress in weight loss, whether or not I can fit into this outfit or whatever. But sometimes it's a combination of the two. And so in order to know whether or not you're making progress towards something, you have to increase your awareness of it. So that means you have to be intentional in exercising on a regular basis. You have to be intentional on eating the right foods, making sure that, maybe I'm not eating at midnight and then going to bed, like those types of things. So the same thing applies to your e-commerce business. You have to be mindful of the activities that you're engaging in. If you're not tracking your progress, then how do you know you're making progress? So make sure that you are tracking your progress. And we're going to talk about that today. I'm still deactivated. All right. So Yuri, we'll talk at the end of this about whatever's happening with you and Amazon, because we definitely want to help you get that resolved. And then have you been sourcing in the top 1% of the sales rank? So we gave you a rank chart. We shared it in the previous meeting. We also put it in the Facebook group. We're going to put it in the resources section of the membership site. So make sure that you're trying to source from the top 1% of the sales rank. Okay. And I said, since June the 6th, 250 items listed. Hello, 91 sold. $4.39 average profit, $28 per day average profit. I need to quadruple this number, and I'm sourcing in the top 1%. I love it, love it, love it, love it, love it, Ross. That is awesome. You are awesome. You are amazing. See, he's being intentional. So Rebecca, don't worry. We're going to do a quick recap of what we covered before. It's not going to be a 2-hour session. It may be an hour and a half, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. We're going to recap the stuff that we covered. And then I encourage you to go back and listen to the trainings. Okay. So did you guys review the restricted categories or hazmat links that we gave you last week? Did you encounter any customer service issues? If you did, hopefully the guidance that we gave you in those previous sessions were helpful. Have you been using any of the tools we recommended? So we recommended that you use Keepa. We also recommended that you use DS Quick View, Clear Pro extension, Jungle Scout extension. Like, have you guys used any of those to try and help you with some of your sourcing strategies and whatnot? Now, I did say the Keepa, the numbers are slightly skewed because what traditionally would have sold around this time of the year may have a spike in it as compared to the previous 12 months because we're in the middle of COVID-19. So just be prepared for that, okay? Did you create or optimize any listings? Now, we haven't gotten into creating listings, but I need you to know that you can optimize listings. You can go in and put your keywords in there in those search fields that we talked about in the previous training sessions. So you have the opportunity to add, you got Spotify too, and I use Keepa. I use Keepa too. Keepa is great. And so the one thing I always tell people is just be mindful that the Keepa numbers may be a little skewed compared to the last 12 months, only because COVID-19 is in existence. So the Keepa numbers from this year to next year, or this year to the year after next, like they'll be stabilized, but I think they're a little skewed in certain categories and certain products right now. So adding keywords to your listings, definitely. And then did you do any additional keyword research? So again, adding those keywords. And have you guys been running your listings to Pingler and Ping Farm? We actually encourage that. That's what we taught in session 1 and session 2. I know session 1 and session 2, it's like, okay, I got to sit down, I got to listen to all this. Okay, so the next thing is we're going to talk about in session 1, we're doing a quick review of what we talked about. All of the things that we covered in session 1. I have to be mindful of the fact we've actually already created the training out to, I think, session 5 or 6. So I have to remember where we are and which session we're in so that I don't make the mistake of like talking about a session that we haven't gotten to yet. So the first session that we did was we actually went through the exercise of talking about your why. Why are you doing this business? And it's beyond why are you doing this business? It's about what is the end result that you're trying to achieve? Is the end result just to make money, or is the end result to actually keep the lights on and keep water coming out of your faucet? If the end result is more about survival, then I totally respect that, because that's how I got into the business. And I respect that that's your desire. If the end result is that you need to make money because you got to supplement, maybe because your income has been reduced, maybe you were in an industry where they furloughed people, or you've been laid off, or they reduced your hours or whatever, or if it's because you need to come out of an industry you don't want to be working in anymore. Whatever your situation is, you need to make sure that it is clear to you why you are doing this every single morning. Why is it important for me to actually pay attention to the activities I'm doing every single day? Is it that I need to feed my kids? Is it that I need to make sure I can put gas in the car? Is it that I need to survive? You need to know your why. And we went through a why exercise of a series of questions as to why you got into this business. So what I said at the beginning of this session still holds true. Figure out how you can put your why in front of you. If you can put your why in front of you for 90 days straight as a recurring reminder as to why you're doing this business, it can help solidify your ability to build this habit, a strong habit. If you're not really thinking about your why on a regular basis, why am I doing this business? Why am I interested in e-commerce? Why am I, committed to working these hours? Why am I, what would happen if I fail? And the what would happen if I fail, for me, is the biggest catalyst to my why. It's the biggest companion to my why. Because if I fail, then that means me and my kids might be homeless. That means it means many different things, that my kids may not get therapy. So what would happen if you fail? If your why is not strong enough, the answer to what would happen if you would fail means nothing. You'd be like, well, I tried another venture and it didn't work out, so I'm moving on. So go back and in session 1, go back and look at that section for your why and answer those questions in that activity and put them, like I said, on a Post-it note, index card, put it somewhere. So as you have a refresher in the morning when you get up, a refresher when you go to bed, so that it is solidifying and building that habit. The next one was build a real work schedule. We went through a build a real work schedule activity. I showed you a graphic of how to build a real schedule. And we actually went through the activity of creating it in Google. You know, you can set the alarms, you can set it as reoccurring, you can change the colors, and building the real schedule, the real work schedule, is what's going to build the habit of consistency. Because the people who make money in e-commerce are intentional and consistent. They've built the work habits needed to be able to do this business. And so the schedule, if you are reviewing the schedule before you go to bed and you review the schedule in the morning, you know what you're going to be doing tomorrow. That's going to help you to be consistent in your business. And that consistency is what's going to pay you at the end of the day. If you haven't built your real work schedule, go back to session 1. Please go build the real work schedule. Build something that is realistic, that's going to work based off of your current life, your current situation. Build it so it's based off of your current life and your current situation. So important. All right. So the next activity was creating your accounts. So hopefully everyone has created their Amazon account. I know that I need to follow up with Yuri because she created her account and she's having some challenges with Amazon as to being able to use the account. But if you haven't created your account, we're at week 8 of this activity, this 12-week activity. Go ahead and create your account. Please go ahead and create your account if you haven't. So has everybody created their account? Can you please comment whether or not you have or have not created your account? Who still needs to create their account? Stephanie. All right, so Stephanie, we need you to create your account. I do. All right. So Stephanie and Yuri, so there will be a document that will be in your back office for creating your account, Stephanie, that you can follow step by step on how to create your account. And also there's the training session on creating your account. But the key is to have all the documents in front of you that you need to be able to finish your creation of your account. You know, what's the email address? I recommend that you create an alternate email address that you use. Don't use your buyer's account, your current Amazon. If you have a current Amazon Prime customer, don't use that to create your selling account. Create a brand new everything. You don't necessarily have to have an LLC to start and become a seller. So those things are not necessary. That's not necessary to do. But you do need to have, you know, the address for your business, the name of your business that you're going to be using. And then at some point, you know, Amazon, after you get so many sales, Amazon's going to be looking for you to be established as an actual business and you have an EIN versus your social security number. So make sure that eventually, as you build the habit and you have consistency in your business, that you engage in the activity that's necessary to get your EIN. You can set it up as a sole proprietorship right now using your social security number. That you can do. And then at some later point, get the other pieces going. Okay? What is the link to my back office? You mean to log into your back office? Is that what you mean? To log in. Yes. Okay. Let me find that. Let me go ahead and finish this, and I'll make a note that before the end that we'll get you that so you can log into the back office. All right. So then we went through sourcing. So we're going to talk about sourcing again today. That's the second half of this session. We're going to go into sourcing. But basically, we gave you a list of places to think about from sourcing, either online or in person. Now, I'm going to tell you, people are killing it, crushing it, crushing it, killing it, killing it, crushing it, crushing it, killing it right now doing retail arbitrage. Every day, I am talking to people that are out there in the streets doing the retail arbitrage that are killing it right now. And it's because, and I know that there's more foot traffic, the stores are starting to get momentum, more and more people are starting to go out and shop. I think that because the COVID-19 numbers are going up, you know, I think July or August is really going to be the true telltale. And then we already know the numbers will possibly go up again in September, October, because you're into the thick of the flu season. And so we'll see what that looks like. But a lot of the stores have inventory that they had already ordered that they would have traditionally been selling around this time of the year. And they have the rotation of inventory that's coming in. So like we talked about before, stores, the buyers of stores, they have a group of buyers that buy inventory that goes into their stores. Use Walmart and Target as an example. Those buyers bought all that inventory, placed their orders with manufacturers and distributors 18 to 24 months ago. So they knew when they wanted that inventory to come in. So let's say hypothetically, they were ordering pillows. So they reached out to, I don't know, the name of some pillow company, Beauty Rest or whatever. And they reached out to Beauty Rest, or Beauty Rest reached out to them. And they said, okay, we know that pillow sales go up, and this is true. Pillow sales go up around holidays. Like President's Day, they have a big sale on I don't know why it's that date, but that's the date that they've chosen to actually do sales, meaning run sales and ads for pillows. So President's Day, Veterans Day, Memorial Day, all of those days, they have the white sale is what they call it. And so you'll see that people will just buy pillows because they're buying pillows. So buyers know this. They know the pattern of when pillow sales spike and when they go down. Pillow sales spike a little bit right before kids are going off to college. They're going to need a pillow to take to their dorm. Pillow sales spike during certain times of the year. So they know when that is. So they place orders to have them delivered just in time for the beginning spike of those sales. The challenge that most stores have right now is that they've already placed those orders 18 to 24 months ago. 18 to 24 months ago, they placed the orders, and now what? Well, they didn't have a lot of foot traffic March, April, and the traffic picked up just a little bit in May, and it's picking up even more in June. So they have whole sections of the store that have been partially neglected. And they've got another round of inventory coming in. They got to deal with that. So they're clearancing stuff. You're going to see a boatload of clearances. You're going to see price adjustments because they got to make room for this inventory. They got to make room for this inventory that they already ordered. So this is an opportunity. If you are a person that is comfortable with going out to the stores, wear your gloves, wear your mask. I encourage you to do that. Go and source. Go and get that inventory that's being marked down. Go get the inventory that they've pulled out of the aisle and it's now in the center section of an aisle, meaning the main aisles, like when you work down the center section, they have it in a box or they have it on the front end, the end caps of the store. Go and check out those end caps. Go check out the things that they've moved to the center aisle that's normally in the middle of the store somewhere else. Maybe it's in, household goods and stuff like that. Go check that stuff out. There's a reason why they pull out luggage and put it to the middle of the aisle certain times of the year. There's a reason why they pull, like camping gear out and put it in the center aisles, the center main aisles. There's a reason why they do that, because those are primes. That's prime real estate. People are walking down the main aisles or the center aisles. And that's a time in which they anticipate that the sales for those items are going to go up anyway. So the items that you find in the center aisles right now might be items that are traditionally not things that would typically be there because they got to make space for something else to go into its regular, where it normally lives. So I encourage you to go out. If you feel comfortable doing that scan, I encourage you to use Instacart. I encourage you to, so can you give us an idea of what stores they are doing RA at? A lot of people that I know are currently doing a boatload of stuff at the grocery stores. A bunch of the grocery stores that sell food, stores that, so like regular grocery stores, and then also stores that also sell food. So Target and Walmart are perfect examples. They have a grocery section. And then in addition to that, they're sourcing at the grocery stores as well. They're using coupons, they're using their cashback cards, and they're optimizing those profits for those when they go to those stores. So sourcing is such a big deal when it comes to, it's a great opportunity for you to make a boatload of money. If you source right, you will make a lot of money. And so we're going to talk about some sourcing here in a little bit. Then creating your listings or piggybacking off existing listings. So we said in that session 1, yes, you can do online sourcing. That was the thing that we covered during sourcing, is that you do online sourcing. You don't have to go to the store. You can actually use Instacart. You can use Shipped. You can actually use TaskRabbit if you want people to go out and shop for you. If you're not comfortable going out yourself, you can use services like TaskRabbit, Thumbtack. I'm trying to remember all of them. But you can Google, you just Google is your friend and just Google sites like TaskRabbit, Postmates. People will go and shop for you. You just have to give them the list of what you want. So you can do the online sourcing yourself, or you can place the order and have somebody else go pick it up for you. So another example of that would be like you can use your Walmart app to place an order for grocery for Walmart, and then you can go and pick it up. Or you can use your other, there's a Walmart grocery app and then there's a Walmart app. I don't know why they just didn't combine the two, but they're not together. So the regular Walmart app, you can buy regular stuff that's throughout the store and place the order and then have somebody go pick it up for you. Either way, that's another way to do this business without actually leaving your house if you don't feel comfortable doing it. That's an opportunity. And then there are sites where you can place online orders. But I just want you to know that there's so much opportunity. So moving on to listings. So I walked you through an exercise in the session 1 where we talked about piggybacking off of existing listings, using your Amazon seller app to scan. You can scan from your computer. You can scan images from your computer. You can actually scan the image. You can also type in the search bar. So when I am doing online sourcing, I will actually have the regular Amazon.com pulled up at the same time that I'm pulling up my back office for my Amazon Seller Central. And I do that same thing on my phone. I use both apps because when you use both apps, sometimes you can find the listings where there's multiples. So if there's a bundle of something, a multi-pack of something, whether it's a multi-pack of outdoor craft activities for kids, or whether it is a multi-pack of maybe multiple boxes of I don't know, mashed potatoes, whatever it happens to be. If I have both apps up, if I'm doing online arbitrage, then it's easy for me to be able to see those visually and to find them. And then you just scroll into the listing, get the ASIN, go over to your Amazon seller app or Seller Central, and just log into there with that ASIN, grab that ASIN so you can add that to your inventory if it's something you're about to source. If you have a great deal on it, then you can go ahead and, if you know where you're going to source it from, you can go ahead and list it. I will tell you that there's a lot of stuff that's being clearanced in the grocery stores and in the stores that you're not going to find online. So if you have somebody that you trust to do some shopping for you, to go check out the clearance sections for you, that is the key. And that's another thing that people are doing. They're sourcing from clearance, not just regular like household and automotive and toy clearance, not just those, because those are important, but there's also clearance for grocery. There's stuff that's being discontinued because, again, this COVID-19 virus, it has just wreaked havoc everywhere, not just in one place. And so there are small mom and pop manufacturing plants that maybe will not continue on, or maybe they're having problems with getting their product out for distribution. And so you're finding, I found something that was gluten-free, and it was a cinnamon flavor. I think it was like cinnamon flavored crackers that were gluten-free. And I want to say it was from Blue Diamond, and they were discontinuing it. They weren't making it anymore. But I looked it up on Amazon at the time, and I want to say this is probably a month ago. And I looked it up on Amazon at the time, and it was selling for an amazing price. And the store had it clearance down to like 85 cents or $1 or something. So I was going to make a killing on those. So I bought all of them. Then I went to the next store and went to the same section and bought that. And then I went to the next store and bought this. So the clearance is where it's at, because they're trying to move things out. They're trying to get stuff out of certain areas of the store because they have to fill it with something else that they had already previously ordered. So clearance is your friend for sure right now. And the center aisles are your friend. That is the difference between going into a store, because you won't be able to find some of these clearance items online. That's just the reality. There are clearance sections for stores online. Like if you do Walmart, you can see a clearance section, and same thing with Target. But going there physically and being able to scan it, or having somebody that you can send out or that you can hire that can do that task for you, you can find some gems. You can find some gems. Okay, so piggybacking off of a listing, we didn't get into the weeds about creating a listing. We focused on piggybacking off of existing listings that are up and finding multiple versions of that listing, finding the multi-pack for it or finding it in a bundle. So then that way you can find all those pieces and make money. But piggybacking off an existing listing using your Amazon seller app. Again, I personally, at the beginning of all of the trainings I told you all, I don't recommend that when you're starting this business or at the beginning of this business, that you go and invest in software at the beginning. I always say you need to profit first. That is so important. If you haven't read that book, you need to read it. You need to be into profit first before you start investing in tools. And there's a lot of us that run our businesses that don't use, we may have bought the tools and we don't use them, or we've discontinued and canceled our subscriptions to the tools because after you've built the habit using that real work schedule, after you build the habit, you automatically know what to source for. You know where to go. You know what's going to be selling around this time of the year. You know how to source on autopilot. It is a muscle that you build through repetition. It's a muscle that gets built automatically through repetition. So when you've been doing this for 3, 4, 5, 6 years, you know what to source for. You don't even have to think about it. So you don't need those tools. So just putting it out there. And then fulfilling your orders. So we're doing merchant fulfilled in all of these activities. We did talk about Amazon FBA just briefly. We will get into Amazon FBA a little bit later. I think it's in a couple of sessions coming up. But the thing that I will tell you that I said in the beginning of the session, or the session one, when we were in session one, was that I recommend that you do your own fulfillment. You can use a prep center to do the fulfillment. So you receive the inventory and instead of sending it to Amazon FBA, you send it to a prep center. So I'm going to tell you why again, for those who missed that session. Right now, there's a lot of stuff that's happening in Amazon. Amazon, in March and April, they were trying to figure out how to conduct business operations in the midst of COVID-19, in the midst of their warehouse workers getting diagnosed with COVID-19, in the midst of whatever else was happening inside of those facilities. So, and they also decided that they were only going to allow things that were deemed as essential to be shipped out to customers. So they didn't want sellers sending in things that were not essential. So what that tells you immediately, that if you're a person that's doing 100% Amazon FBA, they could have potentially just shut down your business operations, not because they're spiteful and vengeful, because they deemed only essential items to be the most important thing. So they didn't want to receive essential items and they weren't going to ship non-essential items. They didn't want to receive non-essential and they weren't going to ship. So this is their platform. At the end of the day, you don't own this platform. They own it. They make all the decisions. So when they decide they're going to say, we're not receiving these products anymore for right now, or we're going to stop this part of our operations, that impacts your pocket. So we transitioned or encouraged people to transition to merchant fulfilled or seller fulfilled so that you can fulfill the orders yourself, or you can establish a contract or agreement or sign up with Prep Center. Because inside of Amazon, in addition to that decision that they made in March and April, they eventually started allowing sellers to start sending stuff in and they started selling out of other categories because all those categories are starting to get cleaned out because you have exponentially more buyers online. The percentage of buyers on Amazon went up by 74% in March and April. Right now it is hovering, I think, around 62%. So that means that there's still a significant number of people that are buying online, still getting packages delivered. So then you have the adjustment in the warehouses. The warehouses have to adjust, and we're not talking about a warehouse of 50 people or 100 people. We're talking about warehouses where they have 5,000, 2,000, 3,000 workers in these warehouses, okay? So a prep center, a mom and pop prep center, they've got anywhere from 25 to 100 staff. Something goes wrong, you know, they can adjust and they can adjust quickly. When something goes wrong in an Amazon warehouse, because it is a big corporation, they can't adjust very quickly. And so they decided to hire over 100,000 staff. 100,000 staff that you have to train. And they actually went up to 200,000 staff. So they have 200,000 new people who have not been there for years with people who have been there for years. And now the CDC has given them guidelines on how that warehouse needs to be structured in order for things to go out. So what customers are finding is that shipments are going out a little bit slower from the warehouses. What customers are finding is that there's some delays, even in just getting it from the warehouse to UPS, FedEx, or USPS. And then you have the other side of that, USPS and FedEx. They all are being impacted by COVID-19 as well. They have team members that have fallen sick. And so you've got maybe a post office that had a staff of 25 or 30. 4 people are out, so the others have to take on the responsibility. You got the restrictions from COVID-19 that has to be incorporated. It is just a recipe for continued delays if you're using FBA. It's just a recipe for it. And a lot of sellers are discovering that the hard way. So instead of allowing Amazon to keep your inventory captive and affect your bottom line, because then customers want refunds because the item hasn't been received, and that affects you, it affects your bottom line. I recommended that people move to prep centers, because at a prep center, they can pivot faster. They can't control what happens with FedEx, UPS, or USPS, but they can control the expeditiousness of the products being shipped, meaning getting out of the warehouse and to the next step in the process. That they can do very quickly. Amazon, they've got to be mindful of scanning everybody coming in, putting in the partitions, okay, we can only have this many staff in here today. Like, they have to adjust. Whereas a mom and pop prep center, this is their lifeblood. Their business is predicated on you. So they are more invested in your business than Amazon is. They have a vested interest in your success. Amazon does, but does not. That's the reality. So they are going to do everything in their power to get, if there's an order, they're going to try and get it processed as quickly as possible and out to the next step in the process as quickly as possible without all the hiccups. And if somebody in their facility catches COVID, they can handle it a little bit better than Amazon or the Amazon warehouse can. So we recommend that you transition to either merchant fulfilled or to a prep center if you don't want to handle the inventory, because of the fact that there's still some things that Amazon is trying to work through with the hiring of new staff and trying to get all the new staff trained, and mistakes that they're making, and suppressed listings, and then of course they're making some decisions about suspended listings. They're your price is too high, and oh my God, like all the stuff that they got going on. That's the other thing that we encourage you to do, is to diversify. Selling on Amazon is amazing because they have the most natural, organic traffic. They do, above any other platform when it comes to online purchases. They are king. If you diversify, you can sell on other platforms some of the same things and take down your Amazon listings if you're able to sell it on another platform. So I encourage that. If you need instructions or guidance on, so we gave you some tips and some strategies for finding boxes. We gave you some ideas inside of session 1 training. We told you what shipping supplies you need to have, and we gave you some ideas on how to figure out your pricing and who you should ship through. So we recommend that using a source like Pirate Ship to be able to ship through. You can also ship from your Amazon back office. But again, having some alternatives for shipping to manage and mitigate your cost. The last thing that we mentioned in session 1 was, when something sells and you're doing merchant fulfilled, one of the challenges that people are seeing, or sellers are seeing right now, is that an item might show that it's been delivered, but it really hasn't. And we're asking our customers to wait 24 to 48 hours before they file a claim. And here's the reason why. It's not because somebody stole it. It is because of the fact that what is happening, because of reduction in staff, because of change in operations at FedEx, UPS, and USPS, which was mandated by the CDC, What's happening is when it gets checked into in some states, not in all, in some local areas, not all, not universally, it's just inconsistent right now. They're finding that if they have it at one of their local distribution centers and there was a plan, quotation marks in the air, for it to go out that day, but it doesn't make it out the door, then it gets on the truck for tomorrow. And if for some reason they have too many packages, because again, they got a boatload of packages, they got a boatload of new staff as well. They got new drivers every single day. And it didn't go out, then it goes on the truck for the next day. So when customers say, it says that it's been delivered, but I don't see it, what I try to do is I try to stay on top of my listings every single day, and I send the customer a message that says, I show that your item has been shipped. Please allow 1 to 2 additional days due to delays in UPS, FedEx, and USPS. Please allow 2 additional days after it shows delivered to submit a claim. So then that way, that allows the opportunity for them to work out their kinks, because they're the next cog in the wheel. They're the next step in the process. After it's out of the warehouse, the next step in the process is USPS, UPS, and FedEx. So that cog is another one that has problems that they're still working through and trying to figure out how to adjust. That strategy has served me well. It has served a lot of people well. Just reaching out to your customer, say, please allow an additional 24 to 48 hours after it shows the item has been delivered before you submit a claim. And what you'll find is somebody might request a refund. It shows delivered on Saturday. Somebody requests a refund, and then Monday it shows up on their porch. So any questions about session 1 stuff that I talked about? And we're going to get into sourcing again, but any questions about session 1? If I knew what time I talked about each one of these things, I would tell you where to go, and each one of them, like, go to time, this time, blah, blah, blah. But any questions? And can you still hear me? No comments. I can hear you well. Okay. We can still hear you. Okay, good. All right. So then we're going to go to the next one. So the next session that we did was session 2. Session 2. Session 2 was a lot. So we talked about tracking your numbers and maximizing your profits. We talked about how to track those numbers. We talked about, what numbers you should be targeting. We talked about your target numbers. I gave you a spreadsheet. I gave you a couple of spreadsheets. They actually are for sure in the Facebook group. But I gave you a couple of spreadsheets that you can use. And I talked about how to get to your numbers. So the goal is to focus on profits, to focus on where you want to go. What are the profit numbers you're shooting for? That is the goal. Every single day, what are the profit numbers? So if you know that your profit number is $22 a day in profit, then, okay, I need to make sure that I'm listing items. And that for some people, you might just list 5 items. This is hypothetical. 5 items that have a $20 profit. And that's all you're doing for the day. And your listing items are in the top 1% of the sales rank. And we gave you a rank chart. We actually gave you access to a rank chart. And so that is a strategy that you like, okay, I've already satisfied that requirement for today. I'm moving on to tomorrow. As long as I am engaging in something every single day that's going to get me closer to my numbers on a regular basis, I'm good. Now, I always go with this strategy or the approach that, okay, it may take 2, 4, 6 weeks for some of these items to sell or move, but I know that at least within 90 days, if it's in the top 1% of the sales rank, it will sell at least within 90 days. So halfway through the 90-day period, which is a 12-week period, 6 weeks out, at least 6 weeks out, probably half of that inventory that I listed is already sold. So if you follow that pattern, then you'll always have sales. So put up more right now, put up more than you anticipate that you need to be sold. And that's called priming the pump. So then that way, the momentum of those, if I was planning on listing, I don't know, 200 items, 300 items, or if I was planning on listing 100 items for the week, try putting up 200, or try to putting up 150, or try putting up 125. Whatever that number happens to be, just try putting up a little bit more than that number, because a certain percentage of those are going to sell immediately, and a certain percentage of those are going to sell 6 weeks from now or 12 weeks from now if it's in the top 1% of the sales rank. Okay. So I encourage you to do that. You need to know what your strategy is. So how are people tracking their profit? So there's a couple of Excel spreadsheets that you can use. The easiest way to start, just to start, is, again, I don't recommend you spend money yet if you're just starting this business. You can use Google Sheets. Google Sheets is your friend. There's $1 million seller that's on YouTube. I want to say it's Refinement something. But anyway, he still uses Google Sheets. I still use Google Sheets. So it depends on what your volume is. So if I use the strategy that Norman uses, which is he goes after selling like 10 items that have huge profits. So he's going to sell something that I'll use an example of a swimming pool. Now, this is not a Amazon good example, but he's selling the swimming pool. So he's selling on eBay. He's teaching the eBay course. And he might source a swimming pool for like $150 and sell it for $400. So his profit margins after fees, all of the shipping, all of that stuff, his profit margins are going to be high. So he's not listing a boatload of stuff. That is totally manageable in a Google Sheet. Totally manageable in a Google Sheet. Same thing with Amazon sellers that are going after items that have big profit margins. When you're first starting, you're not listing a boatload. So tracking it in a Google Sheet is not a problem. It is when you are selling for an extended period of time and you have a boatload of inventory, that's when you want to start looking at some other software. But initially, I'm not teaching you to use other software. I'm teaching you to know your numbers, know your data, get comfortable with, embrace it, get into bed with your numbers. You need to be looking at your numbers on a regular basis so you understand what's happening, so that when you get some tracking software and you have maybe, I don't know, 300 SKUs or 500 SKUs or whatever the number happens to be for you, then you can say, okay, I know what I'm looking for. I know what patterns I'm looking for. I know what trends I'm looking for. So Google Sheets is where I'm going to tell you to start. So the top 1% of the sales rank, we gave you a rank chart. We talked about how to find the sales rank. We talked about where to look for that. I showed you pictures of it. We actually pulled some stuff up. So all of that is in session 2. And I want to encourage you, go back, look at that, because you can see where I pull it up. I tell you how to find the sales rank. I tell you what to look for in the chart. So if you can stay in the top 1% of the sales rank for any given category, you're good to go. And we talked about categories that are restricted and not restricted. A significant number of Amazon categories are not restricted. The majority of them are not restricted. There's a handful that are restricted. There are restricted brands in subcategories. That's a different story. So what will help you get approved in restricted brands is engaging in activity over time that Amazon says, oh, this person's a seller, serious seller, so that when you request to be approved to sell a specific brand, you are auto ungated. There are windows a couple of times a year where Amazon just goes through it and auto approves a boatload of people to be able to sell certain brands. They just do that. And then there are times throughout the year where they don't do that, but they will approve you because of your selling history, because you've been consistent in your business. There are additional ways in which you can get approved for certain brands. You can reach out to certain wholesalers, buy a small quantity of something that maybe is not worth 2 pennies. So I love this strategy. I stole it from Sean Mayo. I'm just going to admit it. So one of his strategies to be able to sell Star Wars, which is, what is Star Wars brand? Oh my God, I should know this. Whatever the Star Wars brand is. I think it's Mattel. Is it Mattel? Maybe. So it's part of Disney. I think it's maybe Mattel. But anyway, Star Wars. So to sell Star Wars, what he did, one of the strategies he teaches, you can go to Entertainment Earth, and it's going to be on your list that we're going to go over here in a second on sourcing. So it goes to Entertainment Earth, and he buys something that's in the Star Wars category, something that is maybe not worth 2 freaking pennies. Maybe it's in the top 5% of the sales rank, because the goal is to get approved to sell Star Wars, the brand, or Disney, the brand. The goal is not 100% at that moment You're looking at the long game. It is not at that moment to be able to find something profitable. The goal is to go find something cheap, inexpensive, and buy enough of that quantity, whether it's 50 of that item, whether it's 25 of that item, whether it's 100 of that item, so that you can get the invoice from Entertainment Earth and be able to sell the brand Star Wars all day long on Amazon. So what do I do with that 25, 50, or 100 that I just took a loss on? Sell it on Mercari, sell it on Poshmark, sell it on eBay, sell it on Facebook Marketplace. Give it away, donate it to the children's home, or donate it. Doesn't matter. Write it off as a tax write-off, because the goal was to get approved in Star Wars. Now you'll be able to sell Star Wars all day long, because you got approved for the brand. So what I run into is people don't get that concept of sometimes you have to take a loss to get a long-term win. If that means that I just spent $100 or $200 just so I will be able to sell $10,000 or $50,000 or $100,000 in Star Wars, that $200 was worth it. So remember, this is a long game. Think about the strategies that you have to implement in order to play the long game. Okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Does that make sense to everybody? The product you buy have to have an ASIN on Amazon. Yeah, like all products that are sold on Amazon, all products have an ASIN. Like, let me clarify what you mean. Are you talking about a product that doesn't have a UPC? Because you can sell products that don't have UPCs on Amazon. You just have to sign up for, it is called, oh Lord, I know it. It is, It is something exemption. I know the name of this thing. Anyway, and you have to go through brand registry. I know the name of it. I'm just not thinking about it right now. Jiminy Christmas. GTIN exemption, yes. It took me a minute. I was like, I can't. Oh, yeah, I couldn't think of it. So, yeah. So the question that, thank you, Hazel. I appreciate you. So the question that Rebecca was asking was finding cheap items on Entertainment or for Amazon. Yeah, it doesn't, the goal, yes, it should have an ASIN. It should have an ASIN. And it could be an ASIN that's not active. That is the other thing, is like, most people, if you sell enough stuff, they start to delete their stuff out of their back office, so the ASIN is not visible anymore. So sometimes you can scan the image of the item, and you can either type the name of it in your Amazon seller back office to try and find it. So that's what I would try to do, is see if you can find the image. And it may be an ASIN that is not active, meaning there's no inventory on it or attached to it right now. But it needs to be something, like you can do something as simple as keychains. So I forget what I was trying to sell. And I did this like 3 years ago. So my brain is, I've slept multiple times since then. But I got engaged in a category, in a brand, by buying like 200 of the keychain for that brand, whatever it was. I don't remember what it was. And that's how I got approved. So again, just if you can find something that is inexpensive, it's not just something, even if it's not inexpensive, if you buy enough of a volume, sometimes 25 is the volume threshold for Amazon. More than likely, the threshold needs to be above 50, but you need an invoice. And you can buy multiple things, have multiple things on that invoice. You never know what Amazon's threshold is going to be for the approval process, because they won't document it. So there are times that I've bought 100 of something just so I can get approved for a specific thing. But yeah, they won't give you any numbers. They suck. Yeah, it's different. It depends on what it is. For some people, sometimes 10 works, but then you go and try and get ungated or approved for another brand and they tell you no. So again, just be mindful of, I tell people to start at 25, because sometimes 10 is not enough. And don't be surprised, because there are people who be like, oh, I got to prove a 10, 10, 10, 10. Well, I didn't. Okay. And there are other things that they may or may not be taking into account, like some of your seller history, as to why 10 works for some and 25 works for others. sometimes 50. So restricted brands and categories. So we talked through that in that session. We talked about customer service. We talked about using Keepa, gave some examples of how you use Keepa. We gave you a link to those things. Keepa is so important. So I just want to remind you one more time, the numbers on Keepa might be skewed right now. Keepa is a great resource. So if you look at the 12-month history on a specific item, if we know historically that school supplies go up in July, August, and September, that's not a surprise. What I think is a surprise is to see the spike in the numbers for school supplies for March, April, May, June. I think that is not common. If you look at the Keepa data, you'll see last March selling a boatload of pencils, notepads, construction paper, crayons, whatever it happens to be, was not the norm in March or April. And the reason is because of COVID-19. All the kids' backpacks were at school. So parents were forced to be able to figure out how to teach their kids from home, and they couldn't go get the school stuff. It's in their desk, it's in their backpack, whatever. So the parents are forced to order supplies online from Amazon. So people like me who buy things on clearance, we went out and we bought all of these multi-packs of, if you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know that they create bundles that they sell in the Kroger grocery store of school supplies. They'll say, this is great for first and second graders, and this is great for third and fourth graders, and this is great for fifth and sixth graders. So we bought all these multi-packs, and then we bought them on clearance. I think we got them like 80 cents a pack, which is ridiculous. And then in addition to that, we had hundreds of them in the storage unit, hundreds. And then we bought backpacks, and we bought hundreds of those at a discount. And so our goal was this particular back to school, putting together, going and deconstructing all of those and putting those together. We have found that because of the fact that everybody needed to buy school supplies, it's like, okay, you need to list, everybody needs to list all their school supplies. If you got school supplies, go list them because people are buying them because of the fact that kids are home. In addition to that, you got all these people working from home now. So they had office supplies in the office. Now they don't have office supplies at home. They maybe took some stuff home. Now I got to find, where's my pens? Where's my notepads? Where's my Post-its? Where's my stickies? Where's my dry erase board? Where's my, you get the idea? So the Keepa numbers for some of this data is skewed right now in certain categories or certain products because of COVID-19. The numbers around grocery, the numbers are really skewed because again, people buying staples and then buying staples. You see a spike, like when a hurricane's about to come in certain parts of the country, you'll see a spike. If there like severe storms, there was flooding, whatever it happens to be, you'll see a spike in certain things, especially, but it's normally regional or whatever the case may be. This change in the numbers for grocery in certain products is not normal. And so it's happening all over the US. So again, Keepa is a great tool that'll give you the historical data on an item selling, how it's been doing, what it's been doing, when it's sold, what it's been doing for merchant fulfilled versus Amazon sellers, who put it on sale. Like it'll give you some of those data, some of that data that you can look at. Is Amazon on the listing? What was Amazon selling it for? So go back and look at that session. Then we talked about optimizing your listing. This is where we talked about where to put those keywords, where the search fields that are in the Amazon back office in your Seller Central for a listing. Those fields are available to you. Those fields are available to you. You should populate them. And how to find the best search words. And I gave you guys a hack. I showed you the hack. And I used that hack to come up with my ideas for my bundles. So go back and watch that session. It was a long one. I think it was a 3-hour session. I'm sorry. But just watch the end. I think it's in the last 20 or 30 minutes, but go watch that because I showed you how to use that search for keywords to get those keywords that people are searching right now. And then we gave you a couple of search tools to use. And then last but not least, we encourage you to put all of your listings, regardless of platform, we encourage you to put all of your listings through Pingler and through PingFarm. That is such a big deal. And make sure that you're getting your distinct URL. And I taught you how to find your distinct URL. Never drive traffic to other people's listings. You need to drive traffic to your distinct URL, especially if there are multiple sellers on the listing. When you drive traffic to somebody else's listing, that's not benefiting you. Now, there are times when driving traffic to somebody else's listing will benefit you. So if you use how many, or you figure out how many a person has of something. So let's say that there's a moron that has 10 of an item, and and it's in the top 1% of the sales rank, and they are selling the item for, I don't know, $11.99. And everybody else is selling it for $25.99, but this moron has got it for $11.99. So you can do one of two things. Especially during Q4, I will tell you, we've used this strategy. We've bought that person out and relisted it and sold it for the higher price. Instead of $25.99, maybe we sold it for $35.99. So we bought out all their inventory because we could see that they had 5 of something or 10 of something. And we bought them out. Or the other thing is to send traffic to their distinct listing to get them out of there, especially if that item is selling X number of times in an hour. So drive a bunch of traffic, get them out of there, and then so we can get to the next person that has the rotation of the buy box that's hopefully at a higher price. Now, every once in a while that will backfire on you, because people who have repricers, if they have repricers, the horrible thing about repricers is it will sometimes cause an item to race to the flipping bottom. And that is so annoying. Race to the bottom is when somebody drops their price and then somebody else has a repricer on, or they are going in and they're dropping their price, and everybody starts dropping the price on an item that maybe used to sell for $25.99, and now everybody's selling it for $4.99. I hate that. It pisses me off all day long. And I'm not a fan of repricers. I don't use them. But I do encourage people, if they want to use a repricer, there's a couple of good ones out there. Do what you feel comfortable doing. Different people teach repricing strategies. I think there's sometimes a good time in which to use repricers. And I think there are other times where it actually damages what you're doing. So last Q4 is a perfect example of people that were used to getting organic traffic. They stopped getting the organic traffic that they were used to. And these are sellers that have been doing it for a while, and they were seeing less organic traffic. And the reason was because they were using a repricer. Those people who weren't using a repricer, they were seeing the sales. The people that were not, those people that were not using it, they were seeing sales. The ones that were using the repricer, they were noticing that they weren't getting as much traffic to their listing. So just know that Amazon changes its algorithm for different reasons, for different things. And if you, I encourage you to adjust your prices. I encourage you to analyze what's happening, but there are other strategies to get people off of a listing. If everybody else has got their price at 25 and they're not dropping it, and you've got somebody that's got 5 on it, sometimes it's best to just go buy them out or drive traffic to their distinct listing so you can get them out of there. And you can use Pingler and Ping Farm to do that. That is a great way to do that. So, all right. So we talked about, so let me give you a couple of tools. I'm gonna give you some links in the chat. So any questions on session 1 and session 2, I'm going to send you some links. If I can get out of this, I'm gonna put some links in the chat. We'll also put them in the group. Where's the chat? There's that one. Okay, so we're giving you a couple of simple tracking tools. If you're not using tracking software, if you're already using tracking software, keep doing what you're doing. Okay, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're already using tracking software, if you're not using tracking software, then we encourage you to check out some tracking software. So I'm going to give you some links. Or sorry, we encourage you to. Did all of them go? Yeah, there we go. All right. Then we encourage you we need you to track your sales and see how you're doing. So let's go to, the reason I gave you this link, or we put this link in here, was because sometimes when you're trying to calculate things, there's different tools. Like if you're using UPS, USPS, if you're using Pirate Ship, if you're using ShipStation, if you're using Stamps.com, I'm trying to think of all of them. Then you have some estimating tools. The other one is, there's another one that's just for a little bit larger shipments. So you can use this to maybe do some calculations on what, just to help you with, it's just another calculator. That's basically another calculator, especially for heavy items. So another calculating tool, you can use it, not use it, it's your call. The next one is a tracking spreadsheet. So for those of you that are manually tracking your stuff, if you're sourcing you can open this up. You should have access or view access to it. So this is an example of an item that maybe you're tracking the fact that this is manual tracking sheet. So a lot of people, this has got the eBay name on it because Norman is also using this spreadsheet, but you don't have, you can save a version. So first of all, make your own copy. The way you make a copy is you go to File and Make a Copy, and then delete any columns you don't need or keep any columns that you do need, or you can create an additional tab, whatever works for you. But Norman is teaching eBay, and so what we did was we took the eBay tracking spreadsheet that we use for people that are doing drop shipping, and it has the source URLs on where you got the item from and what are your secondary source and third source for a specific item that you're selling. For Amazon sellers, you don't care about that, but you do care about your URL for your specific product and what you are selling it for and how much you bought it for. You do care about that. You care about how many you have, and that is another thing that you care about, and you care about your potential profit. And so those things, you can add columns that make sense for you. So feel free to edit this. So you want to save, click on File, make a copy, save it to your own Google Drive, delete the columns or hide the columns you don't care about. Easy to hide once you make your own copy. So you can come over here and hide it, or you can delete a column just by clicking on the drop-down arrow. You can add another column, but you should be tracking, where did I buy this item, and or how much did I buy this item from? Because sometimes the where matters, because you can go back to that same either site, if it's a URL site, or you can go back to that same store and get more of them or similar stores. So I gave you the example of the cinnamon gluten-free Blue Diamond crackers that I got at Kroger. So I went and got them all from the other stores. Again, not something that you'll always be able to find. You'll be able to find online a clearance item like that that was dirt cheap like that. So you also want to know your quantity and how much you have in stock. And this information is going to be helpful to you because you also need to be tracking it for taxing purposes. You're filing your taxes at the end of the year. It's not how much you sold it for, it's how much you bought it for and how much you sold it for, not what you're, some people are calculating their, what's the name of it? They're calculating the stuff that they should be reporting to the IRS incorrectly. So you need to make sure how much I bought it for and how much am I selling it for, how many do I have, and you probably want to write down your source. So feel free to edit this. You can use it however you want. And we are at 11:11. So we're probably going to go for about another 40 minutes, 35, we'll say 35. If this is good for you, great. Well, I'll keep going. If it's bad, then you can always catch the recording. So make a note at what time we are at. So you can come back and watch that later if you have to leave. Because we got to get to sourcing. So Hazel, we'll have to talk offline about yours because you're a different scenario. Okay. So then the next one is tracking your productivity. So if you haven't been tracking your productivity, if you haven't created a document to track your productivity, we gave you a little quick document. It is a Google Sheet. Again, go to File, make your own copy. And this is a way just to see if you're staying on track for the next 90 days. We're already into week 4, so we're getting ready to round to week 5 now. But okay, did you complete the assignments that are part of the 90-day challenge, part of the 90-day game plan? Yes or no, you can indicate that. So if you didn't, go back and you need to complete those assignments because we did give you assignments. We asked you to do some activities, and so when you watch the sessions, you'll see the assignments. The next thing is, did you review session 1 recording? If you needed to review it, great. If you were here the whole time and you don't need to review it, that's fine as well. And did you attend the Q&A sessions? Remember, we have 2 live Q&A sessions. We want you to come. The Q&A sessions are at 2 o'clock on Saturdays, Central Standard Time, and they're at 9:30 on Tuesdays, Central Standard Time. You have a link to it. You can come and ask any questions that you have. There are people that are there to help you in this journey because we want you to be successful. So in addition to the training session that you're covering, we're also giving you Q&A sessions. We're giving you templates. We're giving you, you have access to the videos. We're creating sub videos, broken down pieces of videos. So you can go back and get the bite-sized versions of these. So it is so important to us that you are successful, but we can't do the work for you. You have to do the work in order to make this work. So what platform? So for you, your platform is Amazon. how many total, what was the total time investment? So on session 1, we told you to build a real work schedule, figure out how many hours your activity was, to figure out how many real hours in a week you can commit to your business. So what were the real hours you could commit, and then how many hours did you actually commit? So what was the total time you invested in your business? That's the reason why we asked that question this week. If you really only invested 5 hours and you said that you could have invested 20, then you see where your problem is. And then how many of those total hours did you invest in income producing activities? IPA, income producing activities. That is what IPA is. Income generating activities, different people call it different things. It's basically stuff that activities that will help you make money. That's the goal. So if you said that I could invest, 10 hours in income producing activities, how many hours did you actually invest? Was it really 10 or was it something else? Then what was your weekly budget? Again, one of your activities we gave you in session 1, how much money can you commit to your business? How much can you invest? I think it was actually session 2. Session 2, we talked about it in session 1, but we talked about it even more in session 2. How much money can you invest? Is it a $25 a week investment? Is it a $100 a week investment? Can you invest $1,000 a week into your business? What is the real number? And then how much did you actually invest? This is getting into, really, are you keeping to the commitment you made in order to achieve your numbers? When you find that you are falling short, that's when you can make adjustments. But until you're tracking that information, you can't make adjustments. So at the end of every single week, for at least 5 minutes, fill this out for the week. I said I was going to work X number of hours. I actually worked this many hours. I said I was going to do this much and spend this much time in income producing activities. I actually really did this. I said I was going to spend this much money on my inventory this week. I really only spent this much. So you need to make sure what you're doing, what you said you were going to do, and actually how much you really are doing. What is the actual end result? And again, you can modify this. This is just a simple tracking. So you can see your progress over the last 12 weeks. Am I actually building the momentum to be successful long term? Or am I really just falling down and I haven't really built any habits whatsoever? And then you have to go back and question yourself, why haven't I built the habits? Is it because I'm not really following the real work schedule? Is that the reason why I haven't built the habits? Is that the reason why I'm falling short? Is it because I'm distracted? Is it because I'm confused? Is it because I chose not to come to the Q&A sessions? Why are you not reaching your numbers? You have to have an honest conversation with yourself. So total time spent, again, and then total listings. How many listings did you actually list this week? How many sales did you have? And what was your total profit? So I can tell you, Ross is probably already, he can fill this out without any problems. He could probably go back and look at what he did and see where he is right now. And he should see a gradual progression of improvement week over week over week because he's tracking his data. You have to track your data so you can see a gradual progression in improvement and give yourself a pat on the back as you go on this journey. If you are not there yet, don't beat yourself up. Just know that you have to refocus every single day towards getting to this goal of being able to track, what did I do? How much progress did I make? And if you want to break this down to a daily thing, you can make this, you can change this to be whatever you want it to be. If you want it to be daily, change it to daily. That's what, around 120 days? So do it. Change it. Change it to be what you need it to be. But you need to click on file and make a copy and then change your own version. So that's what I need you to do. Don't change the original. Okay? And really look at your numbers and look at your data, because we're going to come back and see your activity for this week is to fill this thing out and to see what you've really done. We're going to talk about it next week. Okay, so then the next link that's in here is we gave you a couple of tools that are calculators. They are all just calculators for you. So one of them that I'm going to open is actually the Google Drive one, this one. So this one I think is from Jungle Scout, which I thought was a great one, so I didn't change it. So make your own copy again. So if you go to open it up in Google Sheets, and then you click on File and make a copy, you can make your own copy of this document. So on File, make a copy, and you'll have your own copy. Don't fill out the original, okay? So then as you go through here and you kind of look at this, you know, you can use this to help you track some data and do some estimates. They got some cute, like I said, some great calculators in here. So take a look at it. I have to give them credit because I thought their calculator was great. We'll recreate our own version, but if you need tools now, I'm not going to be a hater. I'm going to give you tools that you can use. So these are all great tools to help you on your journey. Okay. Any questions about these tools? Any questions about this information? All right. Now let's talk about sourcing. Okay. So sourcing. This is indirectly a recap from the sourcing session. So if you don't want to watch the full sourcing session, you can watch this, but I'm not going to go as deep into detail as I did in the previous sourcing session because I'm trying to move this along. But we gave you an activity of what your budget was. So what's your realistic available funds that you can commit to your business? And we gave you some strategies on how to raise some money to get started. So all of that was covered in sessions 1 and 2, because some of you are starting with $0. And if this looks like, we just had the mega print on demand summit. I hope you guys got a chance to attend. If this looks like doing print on demand, and print on demand requires volume, I will tell you that in order to make the kind of money you're looking to make, it requires a significant amount of volume, which means it requires a significant amount of your time, or you need to be able to have enough money to hire a VA. If that's what it looks like, selling things around your house is not a bad thing if you have to raise capital. And in the Excel spreadsheet that I gave you in session 2, that I gave you access to, I showed you how you could take a $25 investment in over a year's time, get that to something really ridiculous by reinvesting that $25 over and over and over again, and the profits from the $25. So if you don't think it's real, I mean, again, when I said if you stay in the top 1% of the sales rank, and you do that for 90 days over a 90-day period, which is 12 weeks, half of that time is 6 weeks. I showed you what would happen if your money turned over every single 6-week period. So 6 weeks, you do activity for 6 weeks, you reap the benefits. 6 weeks, you reap the benefits, and what that looks like with a $25 investment. That's entirely possible. It really is. It's up to you. So I recommended that you reinvest at least at the beginning, 75, 80, 90% of your profits. Some of you may not be able to do that. Some of you can. So when I teach just regular sessions and when I'm coaching people, I tell them, okay, whatever you say you can invest, if that's $25 a week, if it's $50 a week, if it's $100 a week, I want you to think about making a $100 a week investment without any return. Just keep pouring $100 into it. So that means you're going to invest $1,200 and not expect a return yet. That's hard for people to process because they're like, well, I need to get some of my money back. No, I want you to invest 100% of it because I'm going to ask you to do another 90 days where you take 100% of all those profits and reinvest 100% of that. Because the goal is to scale up. That's how you get to those $1 million sellers. They scale up and they scale up quickly. And the way they do it is they have capital. They get the time by hiring resources and they have capital. The way to get capital is not to take money out. If you're trying to invest, don't take the money out. Let it double, triple, whatever it's going to do. We suggested that you keep your receipts. If you're doing, driving around, track your mileage. We gave you a couple of apps that we recommended. I still recommend TaxBot. It's a great app that you can install on your phone to track your mileage. So when you get in the car and you back out of the driveway or however you drive down the street, whatever, when you're going to go source, just leave that bad boy on, make notes as you go along where you went and what you sourced from. And then I also recommended that if you're sourcing in the stores, take a picture of your receipt and that you write while you're at the register. As soon as they hand you the receipt, don't leave. Just grab your phone, have your phone already ready to go. Right at the top of it, have that pen ready to go. Right at the top of it, take the picture, hold the receipt up and put it wherever you're going to put it in the bag, if you're going to put it in your pocket, whatever. That way you can immediately, when you get in the card, forward that picture of that receipt to your email address where you're tracking all of your expenses, okay? And then I recommended that you all sign up for each one of the stores, whatever they happen to be, newsletters, sales letters, coupons, whatever it happens to be, Dollar General, Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, if they have it, whatever the notifications are, Five Below, grocery stores, Walmart, all of them. Just sign up or create accounts. Some of them require you to create an account. So if you're going to make purchases, online purchases, if you're doing online arbitrage, do that as well. And remember that the majority of the sites all have a clearance section. It's not going to be as in-depth and robust as the clearance section of the physical store itself, but they do have clearance section. All right. So we already talked about how to get started, little to no money. Let's talk about some stores. So if you want to take a screenshot of this so you don't have to go back and watch it again, you can go ahead and take a screenshot now if you want to. But we have a couple of stores that we're going to list, and then we're going to have some others that are going to both be on this. So this is just screen one. All right. So I've mentioned Walmart and Target a lot. There's a lot of money to be found in Walmart. The guy, his name is J.R. Cagle. He teaches Knock That Price Down as part of Barrington McIntosh's team. He sources about 75 to 80% of his inventory from Target. And he makes a lot of money. There are people that source from Walmart and they make a boatload of money off of Walmart clearance. It's about the volume of being able to go to the store. So when you build your real work schedule, you decide how many stores you're going to go to and how long you're going to be there. Make sure you wear comfortable shoes. But, maybe you're sourcing at Walmart physically for an hour, hour 3 days a week or 4 days a week. Maybe you're sourcing and you're going to different Walmarts. You can stay at your favorite Walmart if you've built a relationship and you have people that, the department managers are giving you great ideas, because again, the other departments are somewhat getting neglected during COVID-19. They were seriously neglected in March and April. I can tell you that. So they're starting to get some traffic now in May and June. But if you've already made friends, do that. And then they can contact the next store over and they can, you can work it out. So where you have them hold stuff for you or put stuff at the front or whatever the case may be, so you can go and get those things. All right. So make friends when you go to stores. That is always going to be to your benefit to make friends. There's a lot of stores here. Some of these stores are closing. Some of these stores are shutting down. Some of these stores are going through bankruptcy. Some of them are Chapter 11 bankruptcies or Chapter 7 bankruptcies, Chapter 13 bankruptcies. So just be mindful of the fact that some of these stores are closing. And as they close, depending on what type of situation it is, there could be liquidators that are coming in. And so the store going out of business prices may not really be going out of business prices, because the liquidators have come in, their creditors have come in, and the prices are still where they are. And there are others where stuff is dirt cheap. So we have a Pier 1. Actually, we were over near the Pier 1 yesterday. But it's just another opportunity to go in. And if you Google the lists that are near you, because most of them will post which stores are going out of business, so you can go and drive by there, wear your mask, your gloves, be safe, take your spray if you spray your inventory, and go check it out. Go see what they have. You can also check the stores online. But again, this is a massive list of stores to source from. I mentioned grocery stores. Grocery stores are such a great opportunity to source from, especially the specialty foods. Some of those people that cannot, hold on just 1 second. Hold on. All right, sorry. I had to do something real quick. Okay, so grocery stores are a great opportunity, especially for people that are on specialty diets. Vegan items, again, selling those vegan items online for people who don't want to go out to the store or can't go out to the store. You have to remember there's a whole population that can't comfortably go to the store. It's a population of people with compromised immune systems, people that are fighting an illness. Maybe they're fighting cancer or they fought cancer in their lifetime. And so their immune system is not the same as everybody else. Maybe they're seniors. Maybe they have a disability. So Sourcing from grocery stores is one of my favorite things to do right now because there's so much opportunity. And think about the specialty foods. So you've got gluten-free products, you've got sugar-free products, you got vegan products. These are all products that people want, but they probably can't go to the store and buy. So I did, I think, an exercise where we went and looked at, and maybe it wasn't this group, maybe it was the academy, where I showed like almond milk. You could buy almond milk, the shelf-stable almond milk at Costco for this price, and source it from Costco and sell it on Amazon for a different price. So just the things that people need to buy. Think about that for just a second. It may not be a world that you live in. Maybe you're in a world like I am where we eat everything. We eat everything available to us. So what are those things that maybe people that have compromised immune systems that they have to buy, and maybe they can't go out? So don't overlook the specialty stuff. The stuff that when you go to the store that you don't really source yourself, you're going to the grocery store probably with a grocery list. So spend another 15 to 30 minutes in the store if you can and you feel comfortable doing so, and go look in aisles that you don't normally source from. Things that are specific based on ethnicities. So things that are Mexican food, Asian food, Indian food. Go look at those and see what they're selling for on Amazon. Because Amazon, people that buy on Amazon.com are not just in the US. That's an opportunity for you to make some money by going to some of these specialty stores that maybe people are not necessarily, especially selling specialty products or going to specialty stores that people may not be thinking about. Then we have the wholesales, of course, the warehouse stores, sorry. Costco and Sam's, those we know about all day long. There's a lot of stuff that you can buy in bulk, a lot of shelf-stable stuff that you can buy in bulk and sell. And then the drugstores. So one of my team members makes money all day long going to the CVS's and the Walgreens of the world. She is methodical about it. She will use her store coupons from Walgreens and from CVS and her bucks and her whatever else they give away, because I don't know all of them that they give away. And she will use those to buy stuff dirt cheap. So baking items right now, baking mix like chocolate cakes and all that other stuff, baking mixes are just selling like crazy. And she will buy them for dirt cheap using her store coupons and then a regular coupon on top of that. And then she'll turn around and sell it on Amazon for major profits. That is all she does. She drives, like she will hit up like 10 or 11 Walgreens and CVS's in a day to do this. And she's making a lot of money. There's a lot of people making a lot of money. It's crazy. It's bananas. So think about that. So then we have another list: sporting goods stores, pet stores, hardware, online, and wholesale. So there's a bunch of online stores that that sell just online. I will tell you, I found that Wayfair, in my mind, in reality, is higher priced than I think they should be, and some things, and they're lower priced than others. It's really weird. So some of the bigger items, they're a little bit lower priced than others, and some of the smaller items or the less expensive items, they're higher than they should be. But here's a list of some stores where you can buy online. A Kmart is weird because Kmart will allow you, some items you can buy 100% online, and some items you have to drive there. And there's not a lot of Kmarts left in the world. So, for me, the nearest Kmart is like 3 hours away, and I'm not doing that. 2.5, 3 hours. So, just look and see when you pull up like Kmart.com and you're sourcing for specific items, just go see if it's an item that you can actually buy online, because there are things that you can actually buy online. But sporting goods items, again, right now, there's a lot of people that are buying a significant number of sporting goods items. They want to get outside. So outside activities, outdoor activities, we talked about this in the last session. The things that people want to do, they want to be outside. They want to do things where they can social distance and socialize outside. There's a lot of stuff that you can source from some of the sporting good places and also from Walmart and Target and some of the other stores. But outdoor activity related things are selling like crazy right now. Pet stuff, pets will always be a big seller. People want to walk their pets. People want to make sure that their pets are healthy and boost their immune systems. And people need stuff. So pet stores, and then, take this screenshot, wholesale. So we list a boatload of wholesale options, and there's so many, so many, so many, so many more. I don't know, did I list Diaso in? So Diaso actually has physical stores, and I don't know why they're not listed up there with Dollar Tree, but Diaso has physical stores. And you can also buy from Diaso online. So Diaso is another version of the Dollar Tree. It's the Japanese version of it, and it's another store that some people don't always source from. Their things are not $1; they're like $1.50, but they're still like low cost. So that's another option. We have a Diaso in Frisco. It's over there near, for those of you that are here in the Dallas Fort Worth area, it's over there by the 99 Ranch, which is off of in Frisco for Preston, and I want to say near Warren or something like that. But that's another store that's an option to source from. So take a look at the wholesale list, write them down. You can buy inventory, and you can also use this list to be able to help you get ungated. This is another option to help you go through the process of getting ungated. So has everybody taken a screenshot of this list, or are you just going to come back and watch it? Are you guys still there? Can you still hear me? And this, by all means, is not the end all of the list. It's not. It is just for those of you that are having a hard time thinking about, okay, what can I sell? Like, I'm trying to give you some, where can I source from? I'm trying to give you some ideas. That's what I'm trying to do, is just to think beyond where you are right now. Okay? Okay, so the one thing I wanted to do, let me go back to another slide. So I'm gonna stop showing for just a second. I'm a screen share. I gotta go back to, I forgot to put the slide in here, so I apologize. There's a slide that should be in here. I can just get, there we go. I need to add one more slide. So just a second, I gotta go grab it from session 2. Maybe session 2. Just a second. I am sorry. I thought I put it in here, but evidently I didn't. Okay, I think I found it. Okay, 2 more seconds, and I think I got it. All right. Okay, I just pasted this and it didn't come in. Okay, I think I got it now. I messed up the slide thing, but I'm sorry. Okay, what's the source? Okay, why is this not? There it goes. All right, what to source. Okay, I got it now. Share my screen. Okay, so sourcing. I talked about a couple of different ways in which you can source. I gave you a few. This I just copied it from the previous slide. This is from session 1. So Instacart, TaskRabbit, I mentioned Postmates, Thumbtack, I think there's something, Thumbnail, something like that. TaskRabbit. These are all great ways to source. And I gave you a couple of different strategies. You can also hire a personal shopper. That is one of the things that if anybody follows Joy Packard, she hired personal shoppers to go do her shopping for her. So this is a great time. People are looking for ways to make extra money. And especially if you're a person that doesn't want to go out. So you can give a personal shopper, you can buy a prepaid card, load up so much money on it, give them a list, and have them go do personal shopping for you. Again, you do the research, give them the list, and they go buy. Or you can do the whole place the order online and then have them go pick up for you. You decide which one works for you and decide how you want to potentially organize this stuff in your trunk. What does that look like? How do you want to organize that in your trunk? So make sure that you keep yourself safe, keep the products from being contaminated. And for some, maybe you could leave them in your garage for a period of time. Food products, probably not the case, especially right now. It's hot, depending on where you live. So that's probably not the case. That's probably not the safest thing to do. And okay, so then the next thing is this. We talked about this before, and I don't know how much of this, we're going to go through this again. What to source? I cannot. Why am I having a hard time moving this thing? Okay, so I'm going to hide this panel because it's just driving me bananas. Okay, there we go. Okay, so what to source, what to source, what to source. We are on a 12-week journey, 12 weeks of trying to figure this out, trying to figure out what to sell, how to sell. Let's go through this one more time. So what my people buy over the next 3 to 5 months is where my brain goes when I'm looking at sourcing. And if you're looking at Keepa data, you can see certain things, like if you're doing research on something, see if, even if you buy it today, maybe it's not going to sell. Maybe it's something that's going to sell traditionally in the next 2 months or the next month. So, when you're outsourcing, don't overlook those opportunities for something that's going to be selling sometime very soon in the future. Don't overlook that. So what might people be buying? Of course, we talked about the COVID-19 items. That's a given. What I want to encourage you to do is think about ways in which you could potentially bundle some of those things. Some of these things are not going to be sellable on Amazon at all because they're just monitoring that category like a hawk, and they're not going to let you get in if you haven't been selling it. But if you've been selling some of these items, if you were a person that was already selling in health and beauty, then, or health and personal care, I can't remember where this thing is. But anyway, if you were already selling in that category and you were already selling some of these items, if you were previously selling hand sanitizer, if you were previously selling gloves, if you were previously selling medical supplies, this is a potential opportunity for you if you were previously already selling. Okay? Health and beauty items, what do people need to buy? They don't want to go out. Again, we talk about that all the time. What do people need to buy and they don't want to go out? So that's another opportunity for you. If they don't want to go out, they can't go out, they have a health situation where they're unable to do that. Perishable items, we talked about that. I gave you some great examples. And also think about those non-traditional things that you wouldn't pick up, but maybe somebody else needs to pick up. Prep items that you only want to go to the store once a month to get. So something that you use once a month. So when I think of some health and beauty items that people may not be buying on a regular basis. Like toothpaste is a perfect example. Mouthwash is heavy, so I'm probably not going to sell that. But toothpaste is light, it's small. I can stick it in a padded envelope and I can sell that all day. So those types of items. And then the prep items or items for people who only want to go out once to the store once a month. So what are those things? Like storage bags, Ziploc bags, those are inexpensive and they're small and you can go and see what they're selling for online. Learning items are items that keep the kids busy during the summer activities. You know, chalk is selling, but of course, in some cases, the chalk is arriving broken. So then you see the ratings on it and it's horrible. But people still want some of those things. So maybe you sell those things that hold the chalk. So you sell the little plastic thing that they stick this chalk in to write on. And that will actually keep if you sell some of those that already have it attached, that will actually keep the chalk from being delivered broken. And when I mean broken, it's because it's gone from one shipping place to the next shipping place to the next shipping place and it's dropped on your front porch. And by the time you open the box, it's all broken up into 9,000 pieces and people are pissed off, so they want to return. So summer activities for the kids, outdoor activities. Think about crazy stuff like things that we were maybe not be interested in. Badminton. The box for badminton is small. I mean, the rackets themselves are long, but the weight on that box is like it's not super heavy. Volleyball, again, another opportunity. So maybe you sell the balls flat and you sell a pump. So now you got a volleyball set. Okay. Think about how you can solve people's problems to help people get outside. Outdoor stuff for kids to do. Think about the slip and slide, like outdoor water guns, the little water pads, that sprinkler situation where kids can run through it. Those types of things. Swimsuits, because again, kids grew. That's one thing that's going to happen with kids. Last summer and this summer's swimming suit may not fit. And the parents may not want to go to the store, or they may not want the kid to try on the item at the store. So they're going to order it online. Again, kids grow. So I got to get a new swimsuit this year because little Timmy is not as small as he used to be. Gardening items all day long. Gardening items are selling like crazy all day long because people have decided that they are going to create their own little gardens. They're going to sell certain things that are going to help them. Grow certain things. They're going to help them, if something happens with the food supply. They're taking up gardening because of that. Some of it's out of fear. Some of it's because they've always wanted to have a garden. This is the perfect time. They're at home. They've been forced to work from home now. And it's also an activity to get the kids involved. So gardening related activities. Fall activity items. So in the fall, people are going to be going camping. People are going camping now. People are going, going on the river, and so they're riding on those little inflatable raft things. All of those activities. Air purifiers, the latest information from the CDC is about, the virus floating in the air and for how long, and if you have an open window, like so miniature small fans or like something that people are buying, but also air purifiers because people want to clean the air in their house and reduce the spread of the virus. Baskets, spray bottles, cleaning supplies, things that they can separate things in their trunk. So think about that because people are still cleaning their house. Some people have fallen off. I will admit I'm in the fallen off list. But yeah, cleaning supplies is another one. Back to school items. Kids are eventually going to go back to school. Maybe they didn't use all their school supplies, so they don't need as many. Maybe the parents bought a boatload of school supplies over the summer. Maybe the kids burned through all of them. They literally burned through all of them because kids will, like my son, he will write one word on one piece of paper and then he's done. So I'm like, you're supposed to use the entire, he'll write it in the middle of the page. My son is autistic. He does some different things. But the point is, I got to go buy new notebooks because I can't use that notebook because you wrote in the middle of like 40 pages of every single page of a notebook. So again, back to school supplies, back to school clothes if the kids are going back to school, and things that are going to keep kids safe for back to school, whether it's be masks, whether it be gloves, disposable gloves, whatever it happens to be, hand sanitizer, that kind of stuff. Those, and I think about that, the thermometers. So people are having a hard time finding those thermometers now. Like thermometers, you used to be able to find them all day long at Walgreens and CVS and also Target and Walmart. Now people are having a hard time finding thermometers. So think about that when kids go back to school. And parents are going to want to check their kids as they go out the door and come back in the door, you know? So that's another item. And what kind of bundle? I want you to be thinking about bundle ideas. What kind of items could you put together to make this work? Beyond this 90-day training, what kind of things could you be selling in a bundle type of situation? So baby items and pet items, again, people love their pets. People are going to be having babies. You know, I think there's going to be a baby boom probably in December, January, and February because of the fact that a lot of people were cooped up March, April, and May. I mean, I just want you to think about that. So people weren't able to go places. They're cooped in the house, whether they get on each other's nerves and there's a bunch of divorces or whether there's a bunch of babies. Something is about to happen, okay? Fitness related equipment and clothes and stuff like that. So I'm not talking about the big heavy fitness stuff. I'm talking about like the exercise mat, the stretch bands, the gloves, socks, headbands, weights, like the smaller handheld weights, all of those things. People need those accessories. The cup holder for their water bottle that goes on whatever piece of equipment that they're using. Think about what the requirements are. So I would dare you right now to go Google some of the requirements to be able to go back to your local gyms. Go Google that. And whatever those requirements are, see how you can sell products to satisfy that requirement. Some of the gyms are giving people stuff as they come in, but others are requiring them to bring these things in. People are going to be buying those bring those things in items. Why shouldn't you be the one that they buy them from? Okay. Stuff for holidays like the 4th of July and Labor Day. Don't forget that we have an election this year. So there's election opportunities there. Anything that's red, white, and blue, especially there's a rally today. And so think about the red, white, and blue of the world and how much more of that is going to be happening. People are going to be buying, they've already been buying red, white, and blue face masks. And then activities for outdoors. I talked about that a lot. Like, think about all of the outdoor items, the little miniature grills, the big grills, stuff that you would buy for a tailgate, stuff that you would buy for camping, stuff that you would buy for outdoor entertaining, things just to go in your yard to decorate it because you just want to decorate your yard because you're home now. Home improvement products to make your house better. So maybe you don't sell the paint, but maybe you sell the paint brushes. Maybe you don't sell maybe you sell the blue painter's tape. So think about the things that you could be selling because people are engaging in home improvement activities. Electronics. So you can decide if you're going to sell electronics or not. But if you don't want to sell the electronics, if you don't want to sell Chromebooks, iPads, all of that stuff, laptops, maybe you sell accessories. Maybe you sell the microphones for people that are, going to decide to start a podcast. Maybe you're selling the headphones or the earbuds. Maybe you're selling the webcam. Maybe you're selling other accessories that people use. Maybe you're selling the spotlight, the miniature spotlights that people use. So we talked about going to the Amazon bestsellers. We talked about going to the Amazon top 100. COVID-19 is completely blocked. I can't even sell shampoo. They put that in a personal safety and it sucks. Yeah, they're doing some really crazy stuff, which is annoying as all get out. But anyway, you can't change it. Can't change it. Let me move this up. You cannot. So I want you to Google as an activity. Go Google Amazon movers and shakers and go see what is moving right now on Amazon. Go look Amazon movers and shakers, and then source for items for 3 months in advance of the event or whatever, or the season. So it's officially today, or is it tomorrow? The first day of summer. I mean, we feel like it's already been summer. Most of us feel like it's already been summer, but it is officially the first day of summer. So just think about that for just a second. The first day of summer. And what does that really, really, really look like? And what are those things? And then, so now since it's the first day of summer, people are going to start sourcing for the fall. How many of you know that hurricane season actually starts in July? How many of you guys know that? Google hurricane season. People have to prep for hurricane season. What are the things that you could be selling for hurricane season? Again, the longer you do this, the more you've been doing or selling e-commerce related items, the more this stuff just rolls off the top of your head. And you begin to see what you can source all the time. It comes to you automatically. So these are items that, that you can be selling, you can be sourcing, you can be making money off of right now. I can't believe I didn't put the words home improvement on here. But anyway, yeah, there's just so much opportunity to sell. One of the fastest and easiest ways to make money right now is going to be in grocery, in addition to some of the other categories like outdoor related things that are going to, people can do things outside. That's what they care about. One new lawn chairs. If you don't sell the lawn chairs, sell the cushions or sell the cushion covers. Cushion covers aren't big. They're small. You put those in a padded envelope. They are small. Okay? The little personal fans. I'm gonna be outside, I'm hanging out with friends, those types of things. You know, it's easy to sell the paper plates, cups, napkins, spoons, forks, that kind of stuff. But what about the things to make it easier for me to clean my grill? What about that? You know, think about some of those things. Outdoor lighting. They sell the little inexpensive, cheap outdoor lights, the little LED lights for backyard entertaining. So yard flags, gnomes, wind chimes, just think through what you could be selling. I could go on and on and on and on. The goal is to get in the game. The goal is to fill out your sheet for next week. So your assignments are to, one, go and really research and study the Amazon bestsellers and Amazon movers and shakers. Go look in some categories that you've been sourcing in. I challenge you to do that today. I also challenge you to go fill out your sheet. Fill out your sheet for the last 4 weeks and for this 5th week coming up, and come back to next week's session with that filled in so we can see what your progress has been. And then for those of you that have not created your account or have problems with your accounts, I challenge you to jump on the free live Q&As where you can ask questions. And even if you haven't, you can just come to the Q&As anyway. But if you need to get some stuff resolved, come to the Q&A so we can help you. We can help troubleshoot whatever the issue is, because I need you to get started. I need you to reach those goals in order for you to make the kind of money that you're trying to make. This is an opportunity to change your current situation, change your business, change the trajectory of where you're going in your business. So I hope this information is helpful to you. I hope that you actually engage in the activities that are going to help you to make the money that you need to make. And I hope that this has been a blessing. I really do. Join the Facebook group. We'll put the links in the Facebook group as well. So I need to get you your link to the membership site to log in, not to join, but to log in. So hold on just 1 second. So what questions do you have? I'm going to unmute everybody. I think I'm going to unmute everybody. I'm not sure. We lost a person. I don't know who we lost. Allowed to talk, allowed to talk, allowed to talk, allowed to talk, allowed to talk. I don't know who we lost. I can't remember. So if you want to unmute yourself, you want to ask a question while I go in search of the link, because I don't have that to log in to the membership site. Are you talking? Oh, Lord, I can't hear you. Are you talking? Am I talking? Hello? Hello? Oh, hold on. I can't hear. If you're talking, I can't hear you. Just a second. I got to get a new mic. Yeah, Nicholas, hold on just a second. Okay, so if you have a question, I think I have sound now. You can go ahead and ask it. Are you talking? If not, type it in the chat. Oh, she found the link. Okay, well, I was still going to go find it. Okay, so the rest of you can, okay, so the COVID-19, yeah, we already talked about that. Let me go find the email. Okay, so was this helpful? I need your feedback. I need to know what you think about this 90-day workshop. So please share your feedback in the comments. Has this been helpful? Have you been able to use any of this stuff? I think Ross, I mean, you can share your feedback all day long, but anybody else, like in addition to Ross, I want to hear what all of you think. I want to hear what Ross thinks. I want to hear what everybody thinks about what they are learning and what we are sharing, what we are teaching as we get into the next week where we talked about additional selling strategies and niches. Hello? Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear me. Yeah, it's very helpful. Sourcing especially. I'm behind right now, but I have to play catch up. Okay, it's great information. I need to invest more time. Yeah, I mean, everybody go back and fill out their sheet. That is the big thing. Please go fill out your sheet. You're going to see if you're honest with yourself. Okay, I said I could work 20 hours, but I'm really only working 2. I said I could spend $100 a week and I really only spent 5. Like, it really is. It really is like an eye-opening opportunity when you're honest with yourself about whether or not you're doing the things that are going to help you make money. And I'm trying to teach you the things that are going to help you make money. I really am. So with that being said, I am going to put the link. Okay, so, and all of you, like if you need to, here's what I want to encourage you. If you need to schedule, like we have the live Q&A session, so definitely participate in that if you can. But the other piece of that is if you need to schedule a coaching session, please do. If something is happening where you're like, I really need to do a recap on something that didn't make sense to me, if you're in the academy, you can schedule a coaching session and I will definitely sit down with you and help you with that session. I really will. I want to encourage you to do that because it is all about helping you guys make the money that you're trying to get to. This is not a game for us. This is like the real deal. This is like the let's make it happen, Captain. This is like I'm done playing. I'm done playing in my business. That's what this is. And so if you're done playing in your business and you're ready to take action and do the things that will help you to make the kind of money that you're trying to make, then you need to do those things. And if you need to schedule a coaching session and we can talk more deeply about your situation. So I get it. And I see, and I said, I wish I could see you working next to me. That would be awesome if I could work next to you, but you can schedule a coaching session. You can, I think you're in the academy. So if you can go ahead and schedule a coaching session. And I get not being able to physically go out. I go out shopping when I am able to go out. Like I'm out for, I go out for several hours, but I'm not out here every single week. I'm not. I do a lot of online stuff and I understand. So another person that's on my team that does a lot of online stuff because she's not able to get out is Celia. She's on our leadership. And so she and I completely understand. Whereas I have other members on our leadership like Tony and Renata, they are in the streets all the time. And Claude, they are always sourcing. And Kelly, me and Celia, we have to figure out how to make this work and not be able to go out. So not because we don't want to, it's because our situation is such that we can't sometimes. So, get creative in how you do that. So I put the link in the chat for those of you that need to log into the Mastery membership site. And again, we're adding stuff to that Mastery all the time. You can always come back and rewatch it. You can always come back and redo the 90-day challenge. If you didn't start on day 1, start today. Don't let it stop you. Let today be the day. This is week 1 for you then. Go back and watch the week 1 session and start today and come back next week and say, you know what, Nicole? You guys are on session 4, week 5. I am on week 1. And it's okay to be on week 1. So, and the session that we're going to offer after this 90-day session is we're actually going to do a deep dive into Walmart and we're going to do a deep dive into Shopify. So that's our next 90-day challenge that we're going to do starting in September. But again, our goal is to get you guys results. So track your numbers, track your numbers, track your numbers. Please go track your numbers. let me do this. So I put that in the chat, and let me go over here and go to session 3. Which one of the spreadsheets? This one. I really want you guys to fill this one out, because it will tell you the truth. It will reveal your truth. It really will. Yes, yeah, we're gonna do Walmart. And then after we do Walmart, we're gonna do the 90-day challenge for, I think, Google Shops and Facebook Shops. So that will be the next one after that. So we have a whole strategy for 90 days for everybody, for everything. And the goal is to get you results. So that's where we are. So I'll see you guys. If there's anything else you want to add in the comments, I do appreciate your feedback. We really want to make this program as helpful as possible to everybody. Next week, I think we're covering, like I said, next week's is, I think we're covering niches and sourcing strategies, and we're covering some other stuff. So we're just building on to the previous. So again, don't feel bad. Come to next week's session, even if you're still at week 1. Just come. Because then when you hear it a second time, when you go back and rewatch it later on, you'll be like, oh, I remember that. I remember that. And it may help you in your sourcing decisions right now. So I'm sorry we went over 2 hours. I hope this was a blessing to you and your business. I'm praying for each and every one of you. I want you to know that we really do pray for you guys. We pray for your success. We pray for our own successes. And we pray that you make progress in your business, because it is a serious, it's important to us that you are successful in your business. So we really do pray for you. We meet once a week to discuss everything that we offer and how we can be a blessing to people. So if there is anything that you need from me, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I know I was slammed last week because I was working on the Mega Print on Demand Summit. But again, we want to make sure that the mastery and the academy are our top priorities, and we want you to be successful in those endeavors. Bye for now. Don't forget to join the Q&A. It's at 2 o'clock, and then the other one is at 9 if you need to. All right, goodbye.